End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! Stop killing Gazans now! Stop killing Gazans now!
Stop killing Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free the Gaza Strip!
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 End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live 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 the Intifada!
Long live the Antifada!
Long live the resistance!
Long live the resistance!
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the Antifada!
Long live the resistance!
Long live Gaza resistance!
Free, free Palestine!
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 Thank you.
Appreciate your solidarity with the Palestinian people, and we always say we will remember. We will remember you because you are supporting human rights in Palestine. By doing that, you supporting humanity. Thank you for that. Also, on the other hand, we will remember what Prime Minister Harper is doing. We remember his government. We will remember what they are doing in the Arab world, not just in Palestine. We remember the bombing in Libya of innocent people by the Canadian military. We will remember that too. We remember all those things. We remember the support for ethnic cleansing in Palestine. This is not new. It didn't start with Harper. It started with Lester Pearson in 1947 with Judge Rand, where they partitioned Palestine. They were the architect of the partitioning of Palestine. And since then, the ethnic cleansing continues today. Look at the map of Palestine. It's shrinking by the day. We will never forget our homeland, Palestine. We will struggle. There is over 7 million Palestinian refugees. They are determined to go back to their homeland, and no power in the world, nuclear or otherwise, will stop us from returning and marching to our homeland. 80% of population of Gaza were ethnically cleansed in 1947-48. 80% of the Gazan populations are refugees. 80%. Only 20% of the Gaza's population belong to Gaza. The rest are refugees. They are bombing the refugees once again. It is a continuous war crimes taking place. If you listen to the media, you think the Palestinians are the ones who are occupying Tel Aviv. If you listen to the media, you think the Palestinians who are the aggressors. They don't tell you it started in 48, where ethnically cleansed 2/3 of the Palestinian people, and where they demolished over 450 Palestinian towns and villages. They wiped them out of the map of the earth. Is that humanity? Is that the civilization that we're talking about? Is the democracy the West is adopting and endorsing in the Middle East? Ask yourself, is this what you want to happen to your kids? Is this what you want to happen to you? Do you want to be uprooted and forgotten for the last 65 years? We are saying enough is enough. We, the Arab people and people all over the world, should stand up and tell the American imperial power, that's enough. We can't take any more. We don't want anything to be done in our names. Enough is enough. Mr. Harper, stop supporting Israeli aggression. There are 200 military companies that are supplying Israel with these deadly weapons. It's not a secret. Go on the internet and Google it. See how many companies, Canadian companies, are supplying Israel with weapons. Forget about the free trade agreement. Forget about all the economic aid, the tax deductibles, etc., etc. Remember, these weapons are the weapons that are killing Palestinians, and we're saying enough is enough. Canada, wake up, stop the aggression on Palestine, stop supporting Israeli war crime, stop supporting apartheid. Again, thank you again for coming.
Free, free Palestine!
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 I need you to be louder than me, please. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now!
In the siege on Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I need, Stephen Harper, Jason Kenney, John Bird, even Mohammed Mursi or the degenerate Mahmoud Abbas to hear us very loud and clear that we want a free Palestine. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the ethnic cleansing 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 now!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the resistance!
Long live the resistance!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Before my voice goes away, I'd like to introduce Khalid Barakat, also a longtime activist and one of my favorite Palestinians. Khalid.
Free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
On Gaza now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
End the siege on Gaza now!
My brothers and sisters, my comrades, we are here today to condemn this Israeli atrocities that is happening as we speak to our people in Gaza. You all remember in December 2008 and 2009, January 2009, when the Israeli state carried an all-out war against Palestinians in Gaza who are already under siege. So when Israel, the United States, the Europeans come together to place 1.5 million Palestinians who are already refugees in their homeland. They place them under siege. We don't have to search too much to know who is the enemy of the Palestinian people. It is these imperialist powers, these colonialist powers who have come to Palestine, occupy it in order to maintain the hegemony of the imperialist power in the Arab world. We know that. If you read the history of Gaza, you will know that Gaza has been in the front line of the Palestinian resistance since 1948. Our people in Gaza are steadfastness, and they are not going to give up or surrender, because our people in Gaza have defeated the Israeli occupation forces, and that's why Sharon had to pull his forces from Gaza. It's due to our resistance in Gaza. Long live Palestinians' resistance.
Yes, Palestinian resistance.
It is the Palestinian resistance who made this occupation very costly. And that's why this Israeli coward army are bombing children and women with F-16s, US-made warplanes. They are cowards, hiding behind their missiles and their high-tech technology that is provided to them by the Americans and the Canadians and the Europeans. But we know that in Gaza there is a resistance. It's a real resistance, and it's in the front line of opposing and fighting imperialism. It is part of the anti-war, anti-racist, anti-imperialist movement in the world. Our resistance in Gaza is not separable from the struggle of all people for national liberation and for justice and for self-determination. So we know our camp too. We know our friends and our allies, and who stands with us and who stands against us. We know that when we look how Canada votes in the United Nations and they take the side of the aggressor, the side of the occupier, the side of the fascist state of Israel. And today we also heard John Bird defending Israel, defending the Israeli army atrocities and massacres against Gaza. People say, well, why Palestinians are also using missiles and throwing missiles at Israeli settlements and Israeli cities. We Palestinians have been engaged in armed struggle since 1948 and before that, and we will not give up this weapon. We will always be a people with armed struggle, because this occupier doesn't understand the language of peace. This occupier doesn't have a parliament or a space for us to say what we want and to represent our views in a peaceful manner where we can get our rights by negotiations or by implementing UN resolutions. This occupier doesn't understand any language but the language of armed struggle. On these very steps in 2008, we say that our resistance is growing, and it is growing. Yes, our resistance is growing, not just in Gaza, everywhere. Today there is and tomorrow there will be more than 75 cities around the world cheering for Gaza and Gaza resistance, all around the world. All Palestinians from all different factions are united in this fight, in this struggle. All of our people, Palestinians in diaspora in Palestine, are behind the resistance in Gaza. With the exceptions of the few cronies that are on the CIA payrolls, the vast majority of our people stands behind their resistance. because our resistance is the resistance of women, students, workers, farmers, fishers, and freedom fighters. So we're not shying away from our resistance and the people of Palestine when they carry up weapons. We're not shying away from that. We're proud of that. Israel is failing one time after another. How many times have you heard the Israelis saying, we are going to stop Palestinians from crossing borders or attacking our soldiers? Every time they say that, it means they failed. They failed to stop the Palestinian resistance. Every time they say that, they use it as a justification also to wage atrocities against our people. But the Palestinian resistance is continuing because we don't have any other choice. Our resistance is continuing because it is in coherence and it is supported by the international law. Go read international law. Any people falls under colonies and under occupation have the right to resist their occupiers. This is a right, and we're not going to give up this right. Today, when we look at the world, today we see that in the Arab world there are revolutions, there are people movement, there are workers rising in Egypt, there are farmers rising in Tunisia. So the future is ours. We know that Israel is going to be a history, a part of our history books. When our children read about a fascist state, racist state that one day lived in the Middle East and decayed, defaced, went away, where Jews and Palestinians, Muslims, Christians can live together in peace and harmony without this Zionist state. Thank you very much.
Is my voice back? No, not really.
Good evening. My name is Hamoud Harib. I'm a 33-year-old Palestinian journalist. 4 years ago, I was in Gaza when Operation Castlet happened. I was reporting on a 23-day invasion to my city, and for the past 36 hours I have a feeling that this is happening again. The last war was so bad, 1,400 Palestinians were killed in 23 days, and the world looked the other way. When I say the world, I mean the mainstream looked the other way. Palestinians need you today, the people of Gaza need you today to raise your voice and to stand by them. Humanity is everywhere. Palestinians are people, just like any other people in the world. We have taught the world how to love, we have taught the world how to be resilient, and we have taught the world what it be like to live and struggle for 60 years and stay strong. For the past 36 hours, more than 15 Palestinians were massacred in their sleep while the world is still looking away. Tonight we have a voice. We're privileged enough to be in a free country. We have to let our voice be heard. Free, free Gaza Strip!
Free, free Gaza Strip!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the siege of Gaza now!
End the siege of Gaza now!
Don't ever think that your voice is not heard. You have a voice, it's important. Scream your lungs out and let your voice be heard. Thank you so much for being here.
Justice for Palestine!
Freedom for Palestine!
Freedom for Palestine!
Justice for Palestine!
Justice for Palestine!
Our next speaker is Sunil Thubani.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a few words. We are here today because the people in Gaza are resisting and fighting back. That's why we are here today. Living here in Canada, the occupation of Gaza, the occupation of Palestine should be very familiar to us because we live on occupied lands of indigenous peoples right here. We have to make the links between the struggle for sovereignty in Palestine, the struggle against occupation, and the struggle of indigenous peoples on this land for their sovereignty. So between the election process in Gaza and the Harper government support for the Israelis, for what the Israelis are doing in Gaza right now. The Harper government has moved Canada further to the right than any previous Canadian government on the question of Israel. So if there is any Canadian here who thinks that you are not directly implicated in the killings that are taking place in Gaza, in the attacks on Palestinians, then you are mistaken. People in Gaza are fighting back. Why are the people in Canada not fighting back against Canadian foreign policy? This is the question that all of us need to take back to our communities. Canadians are centrally implicated in the violence that is taking place in Gaza, and we have to take responsibility for that. So I'm here in solidarity with the people in Gaza and with all Palestinians, and I'm also here to ask for accountability from the Canadian state and the Harper government and its unflinching support for Israeli war crimes. Like the speaker before me, I also want to say that we're not just here to show our solidarity, we're here also to ask for justice. That is the basis of all of our solidarities with Indigenous peoples, with Palestinians, with all struggles against occupation, and that basis is a very, very simple basis, a very simple demand. Justice. Justice for Palestine. Justice for Palestine. Justice for Indigenous people on this land right here. Free, free Palestine.
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 Thank you.
On behalf of the Arab Student Association from UBC, and we are here to say that it's not okay what is happening in Gaza, and we should be ashamed to be Canadian right now because our government supports this, and it shouldn't be supporting the killing of innocent civilians in Palestine. From Canada to Palestine, occupation is a crime.
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 From Canada to Palestine, genocide is a crime.
From Canada to Palestine, genocide is a crime.
From Canada to Palestine, ethnic cleansing is a crime.
From Canada to Palestine, ethnic cleansing is a crime.
Long live Palestine!
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 End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
Our next speaker is Charles from Co-op Radio.
Friends, first of all, we acknowledge our presence on unceded Salish territory. And when we salute the Salish people in their struggle for self-determination, we link it inevitably with the struggle of the Palestinian people for their right to self-determination. When we condemn the colonial atrocities committed by the colonial Israeli Zionist state, we likewise condemn the Harper Christian Zionist reactionary for his attack on the people of Palestine, as well as his attack on the indigenous peoples and the working class people of Canada. We don't make any separation or distinction between reactionaries, whether they're killing people from Jerusalem or whether they're killing people from Washington or wherever these imperialist gangsters maraud against the people. We stand as one humanity for justice. Brothers and sisters, it's a great joy to be amongst you tonight because our presence here in the streets of Vancouver, the presence of the people in Halifax, in Ottawa, in Toronto, in Montreal, Edmonton, and Calgary speaks to justice is brought to the peoples of the Middle East. Thank you very much.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Down with the dictator Harper.
Down with the dictator Harper.
Our next speaker is Charlotte Cates. Here, I'll take this.
Today, and in many ways, I'm going to reiterate what so many other speakers have said, that we stand here on occupied and unceded land that belongs to a people and has belonged to a people that have never ceased their resistance against the settler colonialism of the Canadian state, the Coast Salish peoples, the indigenous peoples of this land, and we are also here today in solidarity with another indigenous people that have never given up their struggle against occupation and settler colonialism for over 64 years, and will continue that struggle until victory, until Palestine is liberated, until Palestinian refugees can return home, until there is no more occupation, until there is justice, equality, and freedom for all in a democratic Palestine that belongs to its people, without occupation, without colonialism, without settlement, and with justice, rights, and freedom. People around the world are having protests just like this one today. From New York to Chicago to Toronto to Montreal to Hong Kong to Edmonton to Calgary to Milwaukee to Minneapolis to San Francisco to Los Angeles to Seoul, throughout the world. The streets of the world are rising with the people who say that people like John Baird do not speak for us. Israeli war crimes are not acceptable. And we stand with the people in Gaza who continue, despite all odds, despite facing the fourth most powerful army in the world, backed up by the first most powerful army in the world, continue to live, to exist, Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will...
Can't hide!
Netanyahu, you can hide!
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I bring solidarity with from the Surat Collective and the Canadian Muslim Union that's endorsing the rally here and also in Toronto with great grief. We call upon all parties around the world, political parties around the world, to condemn the attack on Gaza and the people of Palestine, including Stephen Harper and Barack Obama, for the complicity of this attack and the siege on Gaza and the people of Palestine. How much more can they take? I'm just numb by this. It just goes on, and we think it's over, but it's not. And the sellouts. So, I don't know. I don't know what more to say. I wasn't expected to speak, but, with solidarity with people around the world who are marching against this occupation. End the occupation now! End the occupation now! End the occupation now! End the occupation now! Thank you.
Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
Our next speakers are Razan and Noor.
Here tonight, it's really nice to see a lot of faces, new and old. We're all here for one cause, and we're all here for Palestine. I haven't really prepared much for today. I just decided that I'm gonna sing something, so I'm gonna read it from my phone with my friend Leila, and it's called Unadikum. 1, 2, 3. Unadikum, ashuddu ala ayadikum wa abusu al-arda tahta ni'alikum wa aqulu afikum wa ahdikum ضياعيني ودفء القلب أعطيكم وأهديكم ضياعيني ودفء القلب أعطيكم فمأساتي التي أحيا نصيبي من مآسيكم مناديكم أشد على أياديكم وأبوس الأرض تحت نعالكم وأقول أفديكم أنا ما هنت في وطني ولا صغرت أكتافي أنا ما هنت في وطني ولا صغرت أكتافي وقفت بوجه ظلام يتيما عاريا حافي أناديكم أشد على أياديكم وأبوس الأرض تحت نعالكم وأقول أفديكم حملت دمي على كفي وما نكست أعلامي حملت دمي على كفي وما نكست أعلامي وصنت العشب الأخضر فوق قبور أسلافي أناديكم أشد على أياديكم وأبوس الأرض تحت نعالكم وأقول أفديكم.
Just like to acknowledge the land that we're on. Thank you to the Coast Salish people, this land on which I'm a settler. And I think it's important to think of settler colonialisms globally because they borrow ideas and legitimate one another, as evidenced by Canada and the US's recent statements in support of Israel. Thank you. I just have a few words that I want to say. بكل نفس فلسطيني نقصف الرجيم الصهيوني. With every Palestinian breath, we destroy the Zionist regime. They want to erase us. But here we stand in 48, in Gaza, in
the West Bank, in Palestine, in the camps, and all over the diaspora. عم نقاوم مثل ما أقبالنا قاوموا ومثل ما أجدادنا رح يقاوموا. We are resisting, like our ancestors resisted, and like our grandchildren will resist. It means so much to see everyone here tonight. The news yesterday hit me really hard. And now I feel a little less isolated, so thank you for coming out. I think maybe that's colonialism that tries to make us feel as isolated as possible. My thoughts or prayers are with all the people in Gaza and all the people who are suffering violence at the hands of colonialism and imperialism all over the world. Thank you.
Start marching. Stop War was born 10 years ago in the struggle against war, and one particular war, the invasion of Iraq, which was being organized at that time. And we said right from the beginning, as a broad-based anti-war coalition, that as long as the Palestinian people were occupied and denied their rights in the Middle East, there would always be further wars in the Middle East. That's going on right to this very day. This is at the center of the struggle for peace, for people's rights in this world. The occupation of Palestine is a critical question for everyone, and Canadians are coming to realize this more and more over the last 10 years. And yet we have in this country a parliament where it's virtually forbidden even to discuss the occupation of Palestine. Anyone who tries to do that is shut down. We're told you can't talk about that. It is absolutely shameful that we exist in a society where this can hardly be discussed in the mass media, it can't be discussed in Parliament. Even as Canadians are making it clear, we do not support the occupation of Palestine. We're against war being imposed again and again against the Palestinian people. We want peace, we want democracy, we want freedom for Palestine. Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to acknowledge the Coast Salish people for allowing us to be on our land and to perform. And I'm from the Wet'suwet'en Nation. I'm the daughter of Galaktan and Sebesia. I'm also married to a Palestinian man. And he is the kindest person in the world. His family are the most wonderful people. They are not terrorists. But they were taken off of their land the way we Native people are taken off of our land. We were called savages when we stood up for our rights, and the Palestinian people are called all these terrible names, and nobody shows the world what Israel is doing, all of their war crimes. And I come here to try and endorse the fact that our people, that we stand in solidarity and that Israel needs to be exposed because the media isn't doing it. If somebody can hold this for me, I'd like to sing a quick song.
So I'm going to be reciting a poem written by my dad, Senator Ramadan. It's called There comes a time in the lives of men when the ruthless and the truly insane ruin masses for their own gain. Make a fatal mistake of enjoying too much of the games of their psychopathic brains, and take too far their need to tread man down by destroying any sense of secure life and taking away every inch of each and every freedom. It is not his crime nor sees his pain. Stealing every last piece of wealth they possess, so they cannot even care for their own. stifling their voice of laws and corruption, beating them down to rule by force where no justice exists and there are no options to choose. And there is no direction left for men to turn. When this insane game has been taken this far, comes a time when men have nothing left to choose. This is a time when the minds of men are free and capable. It's a time when man loses his fear of death, and this is the time when a man becomes invincible. He becomes free to do whatever he must do without a fear for his life or his future, and he has no place in the future. He will take control of the destiny of his world, away from the bloody hands of the soulless. Any decision he takes, he will take with a surety that he must do something responsible or careless. That is not the question, as when there's no one to help, he will not stand helpless. Or he becomes fearless. So the act he chooses will be the act of absolute bravery. For when faced with oblivion and there's no way out, he will take down as many of the oppressors staring down with mockery. Gladly die in a selfless act and give up the only thing he has, his life, to speed the world's recovery. This day is coming soon, as it always does, and the oppressing minds of evil always self-destruct, as their addiction to suffering is bringing their end nearer, and their lust of control and their power and lust is what will cause them to vanish with the dust. Every good man will take down these inhuman, brutal criminals. Every free man will give himself up for his brothers, and this is the absent principle. Men become compelled to act when they reach the level of desperation, and the power of God comes down to settle. For man is nothing left. For a man with nothing left becomes free and powerful, and he is the most unassailable weapon against evil. Thank you.
Free Palestine. I'm going to see if I can get a better picture